Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I'm going backwards today. So we are live in Getting Started in Crypto on YouTube, on X, and on Instagram. So hi, if you're watching. Now, if you are wanting a chart request, I've got a few that I've already got from X and inside Getting Started in Crypto, but make sure you jump into the chat and ask. And if I get time and I've got a voice left, because this is the never-ending flu. It's like I got it in Brazil. I've had a flu shot and before I got this, but it's a never-ending flu. So it's still here and my voice comes and goes. So maybe it's just my voice. Who knows? Maybe I just talk too much. But let's get into the weekly wrap-up and have a look, because everything's melting down and everyone is like telling me how red it is, and it is, but it's not forever. And before we do start, OKX is sponsoring us again. So thank you to OKX. And if you want to join, you'll get a welcome package with the link that you see scrolling down the bottom. So please jump on there and join OKX. Fantastic exchange. They have exchange mode, which is fantastic and low latency and just really super fast. So make sure you check them out. So before, like I just talk your ear off about this, I'm going to get straight into BTC, because that's what you guys are all here for. You're not here to listen to me talk. So let's do that. It is going down at the moment. So we have this is either the first wave or a truncated wave. So, and we know that if we break down below 112, 178, so a breakdown below that region, it's going to be slightly different on each exchange. But a breakdown below this swing low is going to let us know if this is a truncated fifth wave and this is a wave complete, and then we're going down much further, or if we're bouncing in that region and then we're going into an extended wave. So what that kind of looks like is, my mouse doesn't want to work today. Let's see if I can get it to work. There we go. So if we break down further, we need to take the fibs from the swing low there right to this. So if this is a completed wave, we've completed the wave, we're going into correction before we go into the FOMC in September, hopefully with a rate cut. And but we're not even at the 236. So if this is a full wave pattern, we're not even at the 236 yet. So 236 is sitting at that range at 112. So that's ideal to sort of, get us to that next level. We could sort of bounce around a little bit for the next couple of days. We're on a support at the moment for BTC, so, and a pivot line. So that could be a thing as well, where we get a bounce here. Doesn't look likely. It's got a whole heap of sell pressure. The only thing that tells me we could get a bounce is we're starting to see the stock change momentum. So when we go back to the 12-hour chart, we see that we're really sort of oversold on this chart, on the 12-hour chart. So that means that we're going to get a small bounce, and we've got imminent bounces coming up. So we've probably got another wave down, which tells me we're going to test that 112 region. So just be prepared for that. Now on the 12-hour, the 200 MA is sweeping up to save that. And on the daily, we have the 100 MA around that region. So they should match up. So that shows confluence in that region. We're starting to see a little bit of momentum change. We've still got strong bearish momentum. Don't forget, we have still many patterns in play. We're still in the midst of these patterns. We could be in this yellow one where we're sideways forever until September. We could be going down to test that sort of that 90K region, which is possible if this is like a completed wave. I'd say we're more likely to be in the yellow region rather than mass liquidations. And, you know, if the whales really want to mess with you, they're going to take it straight up to that green, like arrow, just going straight up there. So that's kind of, if we start to see lots and lots and lots of tether prints, we're going green. So if we're not seeing tether prints at the moment, we're either yellow or red. I'd say we're yellow. We've been sitting in this yellow region for a little bit, kind of sideways, probably another 2 weeks of that, which is going to be frustrating, I know. Frustrating for all of us. But we want to hold that 112 region. That lets us know that this is more bullish than bearish. If we're going down lower, we're likely seeing that sort of 100K test. So that's a potential. Now, on the daily chart, that is the 200 MA. It's not there yet. So don't stress. We're not there yet. It's just potential patterns, stuff that you need to be aware of so you're not over leveraging in this region. If you're short, hell yeah, have your, you know, keep moving that stop loss down. So, you know, if you're long, obviously, probably not a good idea to be long here, but it's looking quite bearish. When we go to the USDT dominance, we can see in this region, we didn't go sideways, we've gone down and we're now going up, and we've got a pivot sitting at about 4.41, and the major sort of momentum change pivot is sitting at 4.49. So if we get that 4.49 break, likely BTC is going down lower. So that's at the point probably where we're at like 112. And if that starts to break out in this region, we are going down lower. So just be totally aware of that. These charts, as I always say, act as a seesaw. They're inverted, and that's essentially how they work. So you need to watch the USDT dominance, because that will give you a really strong indication of where the market is. There is not enough waves here going down. So likely we're still going down, and this is just, you know, a bounce for USDT while everything recalibrates. But it's, you know, it's not looking completely ugly yet. And I do think we're following that yellow pattern. The total crypto market cap. So if you've been watching me, these, so I use a thing called Lisabot.trade. They're not like traditional fibs. They're worked out on a way to kind of beat the algos. So 4.17 trillion was and is my high there. So hit perfectly, coming back down. So if you're a regular watcher of this show, then you will know that's where we were hitting. So we did that. Now we are likely retesting, which we've broken down. So now we need to find another sort of support region and see how low we are possibly going. So we haven't hit the support as yet. So support on this is sitting at about 3.76, 3.75. And so, and that is potentially, I'm going to just move this up a little bit, at the wave one high. So this is our wave one, this is our two, this is our three, and the total crypto market cap is in a fourth wave. So as long as it holds at 3.75, and that is really good, because that could come down. BTC's around the point where it's getting oversold. We see a bounce, we see more money coming in. Failing that, if it does break down, let me grab some fibs for you. I don't think this wave is complete yet, so these fibs are not going to be totally accurate. But we're likely going to see sort of a retest of this region here at the 0.05, 3.57, or into the golden zone, 3.43 to 3.39. So just be aware of that. I do think we're going to hold higher on the total crypto market cap. I don't think they're like literally going to pull the bottom out of it at the moment. I think it's too important for the rest of the year as to momentum and keeping that momentum going. So once we get to those lower levels, like unless we've got like huge amounts of volume coming in, it's harder to get to those higher highs for Bitcoin because there's, you know, so much dominance in the other, like there's like 50 million alts now. So they want to keep those levels kind of higher. So I would say we're holding that 3.75 trillion and BTC should hold 112. So just be aware of those levels. We start to break down. I'll throw another chart out on Twitter and inside Getting Started in Crypto if you're in there, and just let you know kind of where we're at. But just have a look at those pivots. 112, that breaks down where we're going through those levels on the fib levels. So 112, 105, it says 99, but it's around 100K retest. So that could be kind of where we go first before we keep moving on. So we have had this kind of sideways momentum. We hit the 100 MA and we have rejected. As of yet, we haven't had that bounce up, but I do think that's coming. So when we get some good reports from the FOMC, this is going to change momentum on the DXY for the short term. And then ideally, we want another rejection at that 100.34. It's like almost to the cent on that region where we've rejected. So ideally, that's where we want to reject again. We don't want to get up to this next pivot and keep coming down. So ideally, one more test to this region, hopefully another rejection at the 100 MA, and then coming back down. And we need, like, I think eventually we're going to that 94 level on the DXY. So if you are trading that, I think that's definitely where we're going. It's been pointing there all year round. Now, ETH, we didn't get so much sideways. We went just up and away, and we've hit that next fib level. So that was 4,680. If you're in Getting Started in Crypto, we've had daily ETH updates as well as daily BTC updates. So you would know when it broke the fib levels that I would have told you where it was going to the 4,680. We are here, and that was always where it was going to pull back because that's a wave high. Now we have the similar daily 12-hour thing happening with the stock where we're really, really oversold in this region, which means that we are bouncing on the 12-hour. The daily is still looking quite bearish. We haven't had momentum change as yet. The MACD is getting a momentum change as well. So that's looking quite bearish. So this is likely going to go back down and retest those pivots the other way. So 4,073, 3,739 are the next couple of pivots. Keep in mind, and this is like max pain if BTC decides to go down and test that 100, ETH is going to go down and retest the breakout levels, which is about 3,100. There has not been a test of this resistance or support now. So this was our previous resistance. It's broken through. We normally get a support test. We haven't had one. So may not happen because we've been so super bullish. And when we do get a more bullish market, it just goes sort of, you know, sideways up, sideways up, sideways up as the money comes in. But the thing to watch is we've had a small momentum change on the MACD. It's a lagging indicator, which means this could twist up again as of tomorrow. But the stock and the RSI are still showing bearish momentum. So when we jump down to that 12-hour for ETH, we are still seeing the stock has just crossed down again. So with the 12-hour, we're getting that sort of, floating along the bottom of that. So, and we are on the median line on the RSI. So that does mean there's a strong potential of that bounce coming in at that 4,073 or around this region. So that could just be a bounce as we're going down. So for ETH, I would say if we don't get that retest lower, we're just doing a really, really like shallow sort of triangle. I don't know why this is going so slow here. And I don't know why that's so big, but let's see if it'll work here. So essentially, oops, helps if I click it in. Essentially, so a bullish kind of falling wedge thing potentially might happen for ETH if we don't, and that takes us down to that 4,073 after a bounce coming in fairly soon. So we could get a little bit more down on ETH, but I think we are going to change a little bit of momentum soon. Might even be a dead cat bounce across the board, but that's kind of where we're going. ETH BTC is still trying to break through, and it's just kind of toying with this resistance. Now, ideally, we want to break through, but again, MACD is starting to turn down, so it does look like it's going to get a bit of a rejection. The pivot here that we want to stay above for this to remain bullish, let me just fix it up, is 0.2604. That's our wave 1 high. We're in a wave 3 potentially at the moment. Now, if this is still a bearish pattern for ETH, it will break down and it will retest the low. We don't want that to happen because that's probably the market's bleeding out. So that's not ideal. So for ETH, we just want a small retest, likely on these 100 and 200, which is sitting about at the pivot at 0.2604. So that's the potential. And I'm going to quickly get into these alts because I can feel my voice going. So we've had a few requests. So this is Link. It was a signal, or has been a signal inside getting started in crypto. It just keeps going and going and going. It's having a bit of a pullback. It's done 5 waves here. So this is a wave high on this wave. Could have one more wave again, like we're seeing on some of the alts in this pattern, if it can hold. So if this is not a corrective wave and it's not complete, we've got one more wave to go. At the moment, it's almost down to the 236. As Link has been so super bullish, I would say it's going to hold the 236 or the 382, which is 22.26, and then a continuation up. Next one was AVAX, which has a really strong WXY pattern has formed, which I think might have one more wave lower. So this kind of looks like a W, which is a triple pattern. So this one, and then potentially one more wave lower. Now, the pivot point on this one for this to be bullish is 32.62. So it's got a little bit more way to go. But if the whole market gets bearish, this is going down to around probably about 16-ish. So just be aware of that. Pole, which is Matic or was Matic, is sideways forever. It tried to break out a couple of times of this falling wedge. It's not doing much. If it can break out of this sideways forever, that would be lovely. At about sort of 2688, we need to sort of break that region. If not, it's probably going to come back and retest the bottom, which is about 1850. So not one I would be trading. It doesn't look great. It's just sideways. ACH was another request. Again, this is sitting on the bottom of this channel. So it's already poked out through the bottom, and this wave's not looking terribly bullish at the moment. So when we look to the MACD, we've still got some sell pressure coming in. we've had more volume. And if you have a look at how much more volume we've had and how much little movement, that basically means it's selling. There's a lot of sell pressure there. So that's probably team selling tokens or investors selling tokens. And once that's all sort of, finished and gone, then ACH will start to move. But at the moment, when you see lots and lots of volume, what we're seeing here, and little movement, that is team selling or investor selling. So, and that's something to be really aware of until that starts to change. So when we see that momentum change, that's when we get those bounces on these coins. ADA has broken the pivot that I gave you guys last week. It's not looking ugly. It's still got a wave left here. So if we're mapping this out with some fibs, we're probably going up to the 618, which is about 1.13. So like Link, ADA has been quite bullish as well. So looking quite good. Now, this is one that I just wanted to show you because I think it's funny, because I gave you two directions on the show last week, and it's literally just gone sideways. So it does look like it's probably going to follow the red one a little bit more now, but it has literally just gone sideways. Now, if this can hold kind of around the 3.7, the green one is looking better. So if it breaks down past that 3.7, we're going to the 2.985. That's my dog. So hang on, throwing stuff at her. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. And I'm back. I didn't kill her, I promise. So just be aware of that. We have Fartcoin, which is like, I don't know why I'm showing you this again. It's like, these are my pet hates in crypto. It's like, they have no utility, no nothing. It's like, all they do is, people trade them. Anyway, I digress. So we've had a couple of up and downs. So I've spread my up and downs out a little bit more. So we've probably got a couple more coming. I don't think that's breaking down past that bottom. So, why does my mouse want to be terrible today? So yeah, probably another retest of this low here, and just moving within this. So we've had that up and down, up and down, up and down, and then probably once we get momentum back, well, you guys are going to jump into Fartcoin because for some reason you like it. I don't know. Doesn't do anything, but make some money, I suppose. We've got Say. So this is just toying with that pivot, and at the moment we've got a momentum change on the daily coming up, so this is likely to bounce through that. The next pivot on this one is 5, so likely to go there. So there's a couple of alts that are showing momentum changes, so just be aware of that if you are short on these. So they are looking like they are going to bounce soon. SWI is looking like it's got one more wave down. As long as it holds at 3.12, this is super bullish. So that's the pattern break, but this is going really nice. It's just sort of, creating some momentum coming up while everything else does its thing. Telcoin, again, similar pattern to SWI. We want to hold, which it did perfectly. We want to hold that 004514, looking amazing. And Solana could come back and retest the support level. So that's at about a 170. The only thing that I'm like, maybe it won't, is we're getting quite low on the indicators, like all of the indicators. That's a 45-minute, but if we go back up even to the 4-hour, we're still quite low. We've still got a lot of momentum happening on these, and we've got our MACD changing. So on the daily, we've got a little bit of sell pressure. Ignore my stuff. I'm just going to take all of that. It's obviously a chart that I've been trading. So take all of that. So we have, it's starting to curl up on the stock. So that is showing that we do have some sort of momentum change. The only thing that I would go, maybe it's going completely down to that 170 mark, is we've got the 100 MAs sitting there. So that could just be an MA test and then a really quick bounce. But yeah, the pivot here is sitting at about 160. So anything above that range, it's sitting between the 100 and the 200 MAs, and that is looking really good for Solana. And I've got one more. I've got a Jasmine in the request. If it wants to open. Okay, so if we can break this chart is also on X as well. So if we break the 0.2811, that is super bullish for Jasmine. Any pullback, we want to essentially hold the low here, which is 8171 with a few zeros in front. But overall, Jasmine is looking quite good. It's just consolidating like we're seeing in Say, in Sui, in Tel, in a few of those coins. So we're just waiting now for that momentum change to happen when we get that FOMC and potential rate cut. So fingers crossed for September that we don't get like crazy moves over the next couple of days. But I think a couple of weeks, I do think we are just going to see that sort of, slow momentum sort of happening where we get, a little bit of down, a little bit of up, a little bit of down, just really choppy moves. So I think that's what we're getting across the board. So, yeah. But if anything major happens and we do get some kind of, black swan event, which I don't think is going to happen as yet, we do have an eclipse coming up in September. Predominantly for Bitcoin, eclipses do cause a bit of a downtrend. Now, if we don't get a rate cut in September, that will cause that red route to happen on BTC, which I'll just go back and show you just so you've got that in mind. And yeah, so if we don't get the rate cut, where we could see that potential red run happening. So I do honestly think we're sitting at the yellow one and we're just going to hover there sideways, and it's just going to be really choppy over the next little bit. But it is just what the market is. It's not been a normal 4-year cycle, and but we have got some new highs across the board on a lot of coins and a lot of like BTC. So yeah, looking really good in that respect. So yeah. So if you do have anything that you want during the week, please jump onto X. I'm there every day, on Threads, on YouTube, and of course in Getting Started in Crypto. If you are in there, you can put chart requests and we will get to them as soon as we can. And there's always chart requests in there. So yeah, thank you again for joining me, guys. And it's been a pleasure bringing you the weekly wrap up. I'll see you next week. Yeah, I can end it.